And we are live. Oh, so I'm always so happy when that happens. And it is the afternoon continues pub day Tuesday on A Mighty Blaze. This is Reading with Robin for A Mighty Blaze. And this is Julia Alvarez. Mic drop. I am so excited to talk to you. And Julia and I were having our nice little off-air chat. I'll read a bit of her bio. Julia Alvarez left the Dominican Republic for the United States in 1960 at the age of 10. She is the author of 6 novels, 3 books of nonfiction, 3 collections of poetry, and 11 books for children and young adults. Go to juliaalvarez.com for more information. There's so much amazing bio. It's Julia Alvarez, I mean, really. And Afterlife came out just today. It comes out today. It is beautiful. I see a few behind you. You have them.
Oh, I tried to decorate this little space and do, I don't know what you can see there, but yeah, I put some there. And anyhow, I have a little table all set up in my corner here. So first of all, Robin, thank you for having me, for being
pleasure
with this digital dummy that is becoming a digital diva, I heard recently. I'm learning. And for celebrating, because it's so hard to have a book be born during quarantine, although it's a small thing to worry about given what's going on. But it's wonderful to have, to be able to at least celebrate it virtually with your readers and listeners and fans. And now I'm one of them. So thank you.
Thank you. I've been a fan of yours for so long, and I did drive Michael Mackenzie quite crazy with, I'm a nudge. I just don't stop. And I'm like, but Julia's book's coming out today and we must speak. And I love that, from dummy to diva. And
well, I'm not there. Some very nice friend said, what do you mean you're a digital dummy? I saw you last night at Politics and Prose. You're a digital diva. Said, well, you know.
Did they do it the same way at Politics and Prose? Did they have you on a Zoom chat?
No, that's the thing. Each of these venues wants a different platform. And I didn't even know what that word meant in terms of, you know, digital vocabulary. So I'm learning on the fly. And of course, I don't have somebody, my neighbor's son or my grandkids here to say, ah, come on, it's really So I'm learning, and I just feel daunted by it. But I guess we're all on a learning curve right now about all kinds of things. So I'm just learning along with everyone else.
It is interesting when you think about what we're capable of and how we have to make do and things we have to figure out, and how easily, and sometimes it's like if somebody does something better and they're available, like, why spend the time trying to figure it out? You go to them.
Right.
And then, you know, and there is sort of satisfaction in figuring something out. And
yeah.
You know, but like, as soon as a password doesn't work for me, I'm like, did we change it? I don't want that website. You know, it's exhausting until I really wanted to order something. And then I figured it out. So it is wild. And how's your husband on all this technology? Is he helpful?
Oh, no, he thinks I'm his IT person.
I guess.
Oh, my computer isn't, you come and fix it. And I go, I'm going to fix your computer. But I guess I'm a little, you know, all you have to know is a little more than the person behind you, and you can be helpful. So anyhow, but he doesn't do, you know, he does email once a day, you know, and anyhow.
You're right. You just have to know a little bit more than the person behind you.
Right.
And, and so Afterlife is out today, and it is this just gorgeous, slim love of a book. And go to the website at juliaalvarez.com. And so you do have more online events coming up. Everybody sort of quickly was able to move it online.
Well, Michael and his team are doing, Michael Mackenzie's the publicist at when he's been, I mean, you know, out of his home doing this last minute mounting digital book tour, and then having to deal at the other end with authors that are not proficient at it, or as here in Vermont, we don't have great internet connection, phone service. So that's an issue. But anyhow, he's doing a great job. The whole team there is. And of course, you know, it's a time to really support our independent bookstores, our publishers, our authors, our booksellers. So
So
it's,
important.
yeah, I'm
That's-
glad to be here.
I'm
and
so
be my
happy.
part.
Yes. We're thrilled to have you. And that is what we're doing on A Mighty Blaze. Everybody's come together and formed this amazing community of debuts and books that are pubbing on Tuesdays and celebrating the bookstores on Wednesdays and shining a spotlight
Wow.
on celebrity on, and then there's drinks on Friday. You should join us. There's
Ooh, that sounds like I might need one by then.
right? So how long have you guys been in Vermont together?
Oh my goodness, I came in 1988.
Oh no,
for a one.
this trip.
What?
I meant for now, like I meant, but 88.
Oh, sequestered. Yeah, we figured it out the other day, since March 20th.
Okay.
So and that was just a quick run to our local co-op. And since then, people here have been really good about sheltering in place. And we already, you know, Bill said it's only a matter of time before somebody we know has it. So now we know a couple of people that have it.
Yeah.
So, but
do.
anyhow,
Yeah.
we are keeping close to home.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that, you know, it's Vermont, and thank God it's spring. The garden coming in, I can't tell you how much we appreciate it this year. Plus my husband is a huge gardener. He's a Nebraska farm boy. So he is out in the garden already getting things started in his greenhouse. And we're eating mostly what we have in 2 deep freezers from harvest and produce from last summer's garden.
That's
so I know, you know, never before has it been so wonderful to have that supply. And we're, you know, he's baking bread pretty much every other day, and we're taking loaves and leaving them in people's mailboxes, along with this aronia berry jam. You know, because they've been helping us as the elders on this road. You know, people say, can I get you some milk? Can I do this? And we feel like so helpless. And so this is a way that we can do that, you know. And I went culling my shelves, thinking, what can I, because some people have their little libraries that people have outside, and our libraries are closed.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's something I can do. You know, I can stock some of these little libraries on our road. So I just thought of that this afternoon. When we went by one, I thought, oh, one library isn't closed. You know, those little things that people put in front of
them. I leave books in my car, and when I see one, I stop. I take pictures of them.
Yes.
Such a wonderful thing. And I know some people have turned the little free libraries into food pantries in some neighborhoods.
Oh, we should leave a loaf of bread there.
You could do that too.
Yeah, right.
You could drive it to Rhode Island. It sounds really good. I bet Bill bakes great.
A loaf of bread, a bottle of wine, and a copy of Afterlife.
It's like,
what more can you ask for?
It's the perfect thing. Well, there is that, right, Julia? Like this return to like the things that really matter, and neighbors helping neighbors, and you know, continuing that supportive community. And and book clubs are meeting online. Oh, you're going to read to us a little bit. I'm going to lose track of the time because I'm thinking Bill's bread and that jam you mentioned. So Julia is going to grace us with a bit of the prologue for Afterlife, which is just out today by Algonquin. There it is.
So this is the very beginning of the book, which makes it easier for all of us because I don't have to walk you through everything that has happened. So it's called Broken English, and in it we meet Antonia. It's from her point of view. Broken English. She is to meet him, a place they often choose for special occasions. To celebrate her retirement from the college, a favorite restaurant, and the new life awaiting her. A half-hour drive from their home, a mountain town, 20 if she speeds in the 30-mile zone. Tonight, it makes more sense, a midway point, to arrive separately, as she will be driving down from her doctor's appointment. She gets there first, as he will be driving from home. He should have been there before her. She starts calling his cell. After waiting 10, 20 minutes, He doesn't answer. Irritation turns to worry. No surprise there. Always leaves it behind in his work jeans pocket. The hospital, 911, the police. Have you seen him? Or turns off the sound at the movies and then forgets to turn it back on. Can you please help me find him? Even now, months later, about 6 feet, thinning hair, a boy's blue eyes. When she knows good and well, dusk deepening, how he had been driving up the mountain, he feels a stab of pain, already thinking of what he might order, coming from his left side, but radiating out, wondering about her state of mind, the special, if it is special, if she would be excited or terrified, or his default favorite, salmon with a lemon dill sauce, like a pain piercing his left side, substituting mashed potatoes for the fries. They're very good about substitutions. Though how would he know what it feels like to have a sword piercing his left side? Because of his medical training, understanding what is happening, not wanting to cause more harm, pronounced dead on arrival. He forgets to charge it and it runs out of juice. Even now, 3 months shy of a year later, pulling his car off the road, rolling gently to a stop, when she knows exactly what happened, a ditch that might as well be his grave, discovered by a passing cyclist, rushed to the ER. Why he was late, a ruptured aortic aneurysm, as he is to be cremated and therefore have no grave per se. Neither he nor she could have foreseen, even now, a boy's blue eyes, and cannot comprehend how someone she loved. She keeps running and rerunning that night in her head. Can you please help me find him? Can be nothing but dust, unread emails, fragments, unpaid bills, memories, broken glass, dented bumper, a new life awaiting her, both terrified and excited. How can it be? Can you help me find him? Tall with thinning hair, a new life awaiting her. Can you help me find him? A mystery she cannot by any means solve. Nevertheless, she keeps asking, where are you? As this is the only way she knows. Can you help me find him? How to create an afterlife for him.
Wow. I could just really listen to you read the whole thing. That's so beautiful. Thank you for reading that, Julia. Wow. This is a high point of being home for the past 4 weeks, is getting to hear you read that. Thank you so much. Did you read the audio for it or no? Do you read
Oh, I haven't, I don't know what, we'll have to ask Stuart Bernstein, my agent, about the audio rights because he would know. But I've only ever read one of my own books for the audio, and it was hard. I thought, piece of cake, I wrote it.
Right.
And I understood why an actor is an actor, because they know how to get in their voice what you work so hard to get in the prose.
Yeah.
But it's a different skill,
Yeah.
how to modulate the voice, the pacing, the affect, the right tone. So it's really hard to get it right. And I only did it for one of my books before we were free. It's a book for young readers,
Yeah.
and it was tough to do.
So-
I said, leave it to the professionals.
It's interesting because some authors, and most don't, but some authors do read theirs, and I just love listening to that. So I figured I would ask. So yeah, it's surprising. I can see that you wrote it, but the way an actor would read and the pacing and the inflection or whatever. But do you ever hear do you always listen to the books that are done, all your books in audio?
I haven't, but that's a very good idea. And part of the thing is, I myself do like to go to readings and hear the author's voice, but only because when I'm reading, then I hear that voice reading it to me. I get a sense of, of what that voice is. So I think that's the thing that the reason I go to readings. But I'm not so good at audiobooks, though. Some of my friends that have really gotten into it have told me that it's a really wonderful way to enter a book. Right now, I have so little sitting time when I'm listening that usually what I do is podcasts or events like yours, rather than listening to myself. I do far too much of that. Yep.
I always wonder if authors want to hear, like, wait, how'd that come out? Or that's not how I heard that voice. Or I know it's a whole other skill set. And I'm
Yeah.
chatting with Julia Alvarez on her pub day. Afterlife is just out now. And we got to hear the prologue. You talk a little bit about the origin story of Afterlife, like what you were thinking of when you started writing this. And
Well, you know, it's a novel, my first adult novel. I was shocked to read this when Algonquin, my publisher, sent kind of the description of the book around, her first adult novel in almost 15 years. And I thought,
yeah,
wow, really? I mean, it's
it
been
felt
that
like a while, but I didn't know it had been 15 years. It felt
well,
like,
you know, people think, oh, what, you know, did it take that long? Or were you taking some time off writing? I don't, I, I don't do that, because for me, writing isn't like a job that I get a vacation from. For me, writing is a way of life. And the ongoing connection to the work and the habit and the ritual of it is what is in it for me. It's a way of life. And so I was doing it for those 15 years, but sometimes other projects seem like the way my heart wanted to go, and I have to listen to it, because if I fight it, the writing will not be very good. I'm sort of, you know, fighting against what I'm trying to do. That doesn't work. I have to surrender to it. But it's also that I think I was at a stage of life where I had sort of accomplished in some ways what I had as my idea for myself as a coming of age, and putting my voice out there and being part of American literature that it felt for so long like I, as an immigrant voice, was not on those shelves and not really welcomed. And it took a while to be sort of feel like I've joined the big table that Langston Hughes talks about in
yeah.
I Too Sing America. And once there, you know, I became interested. I didn't want to just repeat the things that worked. For one thing, it's boring, you know, it's just like, it's just following formula. And for me, writing is also a way of discovery, of learning things. And I was at a stage of life where I wondered, now I'm an elder. Nobody's called me that, and I don't mean it in a pokey way, but in that old way of an elder of the tribe. And what does that mean? And with the hindsight and the insight that I've gained, what are the stories left in me to tell before I go? So I call it, and it takes a while to know that in your root system, so that it can get reflected in the prose in a way that feels vibrant and real to the reader. So in a sense, I was integrating and learning what does that mean, and reflecting and musing and making mistakes and feeling lost. And all of that took time before it began to come up out of the ground and become a story. The story of Antonia. You hear her at the very beginning of the novel, who she's also reached a certain level of achievement. She's retiring from the college. She's, you know, gained a certain kind of security and safety, and she feels like now's the time that she's anchored and everything is, you know, in its place. And all of a sudden, things start to happen the way life happens, and it all is falling apart. So you meet her at the beginning when all of a sudden, you know, the love of her life, her compañero, she's lost him. Everything's come apart. And so part of Afterlife is, you know, looking at the ways in which, I don't mean it in any kind of religious, you know, meditation on what comes after this life. I mean it in the sense that within our own lives, we live so many lives, and we have so many little deaths.
Yeah.
And if we're lucky, and if we go and find the springs that feed us, and if we have a community around us, and if we're engaged, compassionate, we survive it. And there is an afterlife after that life is over. But, you know, don't don't think that that's going to also last forever. The point is, that it keeps happening, and you can't avoid it. It's part of living. All you can do is go through it and hope that you come out as a bigger version of yourself, and so in a way, Antonia is suddenly having to having the adolescence of her elder years, trying to figure out who she is, what will be her life. And the one thing I wanted with this character is that I wanted her to be, I was thinking about this today. I was writing in my journal that sometimes in the past I felt with some of my characters, and when I read about some characters, that they're hostage to the plot, that they've been circumscribed, or they're hostage to all that the author, or the author is the know-it-all, and they are sort of working through what the author is putting them through. And I wanted a character that was going to be smarter than me, or
Fascinating.
that I could learn things from. And I also wanted her because I didn't want to fall into any of the cliches, and neither does Antonia, of what she should be because she's Latina, because she's elder, because she's a writer, because she's a widow, because whatever it is, I wanted accuracy, because I think one of the things that we feel accompanied with when we're a reader is when we feel something reflected and we go, oh yes.
Yeah, is best.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got
Yes,
it.
and you don't feel so lonely with that secret self or that insight you've never really looked at. And I wanted that with this character. So it's really a kind of adventure that we go through with Antonia during a very short period of her life, in a short, concise novel that reflects that too.
Let's hold them up together, shall we? So beautiful. Julia, this is a highlight of my Reading with Life, my Reading with Robin for a Mighty Blaze life. I could not be any more honored to have you on here and to be able to spend time with you and to share Afterlife. It's out today. Visit juliaalvarez.com and find her everywhere. And all the best tonight on on your next event tonight.
It's a Philly Free Library event tonight, and it's crowdcast. But if you go on their website, you can register. It's free from the library that can't be open,
Right.
and you get to instead of hearing me blather on, you get to ask me questions, and so does the host Andy at the library. So join me if you can, and you don't have to be in Philadelphia. That's the great thing about these.
That is a great thing. You can be, sometimes you see author events and you go, I wish I could be there. And now you can. And I have one more interview. Sahar, I don't know if you know this book. Your books look beautiful together. The Beauty of Your Face. It's a debut novel.
Oh, wow. I love the cover.
Isn't it beautiful? So she's waiting in the green room. So I best say
goodbye. I am going to say The Beauty of
Your Face by Sahar Mustafa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. And thank you, Julia.
Well, wish her luck. And she's a twin. We're twins. Our babies are born the same day. We're comadres, as we say.
Comadres, sí.
Comadres. So thank you, Robin. And bye.
You, Julia. All the best and congratulations on your latest and most gorgeous. And everybody's going to be just loving it and sharing it. And I'm going to try and watch tonight. I want to watch you more.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Robin. Bye-bye.